And would you say that the government has tried to divert gender budgeting and gender's resources post-Brexit in the Welsh Government?
So is this with respect to the Welsh Government?
To replace the potential lost income streams from Europe?
Well, I think what is particularly important to note now is that actually back in 2018, the First Minister at the time, Carwyn Jones, on International Women's Day, committed to the Welsh Government becoming a feminist government. And since that time, we've seen a gender equality review, phase 1 and phase 2, the most recent phase reported in June 2019. And what they did as part of this review was they were able to identify actually quite an impressive legislative and regulatory framework in Wales in terms of promoting gender equality. They did note that gap between, as I said, that policy aspiration and what we're actually seeing on the ground. And since then, we've seen the Welsh Government and this commit to a plan to actually take forward the recommendations that came from this gender equality review. And built within this is this attention to gender budgeting. But obviously we have to remember, in terms of spend by the Welsh Government, this obviously, the amount of money that the Welsh Government gets each year is dependent on the Barnett formula. This is not within the gift of the Welsh Government, or very, very limited revenue raising powers. So that will, in terms of the replacement of funds post-Brexit, that will depend on the decisions that the UK Treasury make. However, if you look at the Welsh level, politically speaking, there is a very hospitable environment when it comes to taking gender equality, gender mainstreaming, including from an intersectional perspective, taking that seriously.
So do you think that because of Brexit, Wales needs CEDAW more than it might have previously done?
I think there is certainly, I would say that there would be huge benefit to be gained from the incorporation of CEDAW. Something I do want to draw your attention to is actually in the Welsh Government's programme for government that was recently released. The Welsh Government has indeed committed to the incorporation of CEDAW in Welsh law. It's also committed to the incorporation of the UN Convention of the Rights of Disabled People. So there is, speaking as an academic, as a feminist, there is huge potential to be gained from the incorporation of CEDAW. Yes, from a legal perspective, but also in terms of, when I say legal perspective, I mean people being able to go to the courts, but also in terms of raising awareness to women about the rights that are theirs. This is women and girls, and also that international message that is sent out about the seriousness with which women's rights and gender equality are actually held at various levels of government. But here we've seen, obviously, the Welsh Government committing to, and we haven't seen this, obviously, it's early days of this new government, but committing to the incorporation of CEDAW.